Have you ever felt lost in your own mind, caught in a storm of negative thoughts you couldn't escape? The Stoics believed peace doesn't come from controlling the world, but from mastering how you respond to it. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Marcus Aurelius. In this video, we explore 7 powerful Stoic lessons to help you clear your thoughts, calm your emotions, and reclaim your inner strength. Like if this brought you clarity, subscribe to Stoic Wisdom. For more timeless guidance, comment below. Which lesson speaks to you most today? This isn't just philosophy, it's a way of life, and it begins right here with one choice, one breath, one moment at a time. Lesson 1. Control what you can, release what you can't. Imagine this. You've prepared for something important, maybe a wedding, an outdoor event, a once-in-a-lifetime moment. You've done everything right, and then it rains. Your instinct might be to feel frustrated, upset, even angry. After all, it feels unfair. But the Stoics would stop and ask, did you ever control the weather to begin with? This is where one of the most life-changing Stoic principles comes in, the dichotomy of control. It teaches us that some things are within our control and others are not, and real wisdom is knowing the difference. Here's what you can control: your thoughts, your mindset, your actions, your daily effort, the way you treat others. And here's what you cannot control: what others say or do, the past, the weather, the economy, accidents or unexpected events. When we try to control what we can't, we suffer. When we focus on what we can, we find power. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who was once a slave, taught this with clarity. Some things are up to us, and some are not. Think about that. Even in the harshest circumstances, he didn't feel like a victim, because his freedom didn't come from controlling the outside world, it came from mastering his inner world. So what does this mean for us today? It means that when life doesn't go your way, you have 2 choices. Waste your energy fighting reality. Focus that energy inward on how you respond. You might not be able to change what happened, but you can always choose how you carry it. And sometimes that small shift changes everything. Ask yourself, whenever you feel overwhelmed, is this in my control? If yes, take action. If no, let it go and redirect your attention to what you can shape, not out of weakness, but out of wisdom, because true strength is knowing where your power ends and where your peace begins. Part 2. Lesson 2. Pause before you react. In today's world, everything moves fast. We're expected to respond instantly to messages, to emails, to criticism, to conflict. And so we react, not from wisdom but from impulse, not from clarity but from confusion. Someone says something hurtful, a co-worker questions your ability, a loved one says something that stings, and before your mind can even process what happened, your emotions are already racing ahead, ready to fight, defend, or explode. But what if you didn't? What if just for a moment you paused, took a breath, felt the reaction rising, but didn't let it control you? That pause, that tiny space between stimulus and response, is the gateway to inner peace. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, once said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Though not a Stoic by label, his words echo the wisdom of Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius. The Stoics believed that we are not disturbed by events themselves, but by our judgments about them. It's not the comment that hurts, it's the meaning we attach to it. It's not the traffic jam that ruins our day, it's our resistance to the delay. So next time something triggers you, try this. Don't reply right away. Don't slam the door. Don't type the message in anger. Instead, observe. Ask yourself, why did that hurt me? What emotion just got triggered, and where does it come from? Am I reacting to this moment, or to something deeper, older, unresolved within me? This is not avoidance. This is conscious reflection. When we give ourselves space, we make room for something rare and beautiful, understanding. And not just understanding of others, but of ourselves. You begin to notice patterns. You begin to separate fact from assumption. And most of all, you gain the strength to respond with intention instead of instinct. This habit doesn't just help you in heated moments. It transforms your relationships. It builds trust, empathy, and calm strength. It turns you into the kind of person people admire, not because you're passive, but because you are present. You're not a slave to every emotion that passes through you. You feel, but you don't react blindly. You reflect and respond with purpose. That's power. That's peace. That's the Stoic way. Part 3, Lesson 3, Practice Dispassion. Let's get one thing clear from the start. Dispassion doesn't mean you stop feeling. It doesn't mean you walk through life like a robot, untouched by pain or joy. No, dispassion is not about shutting your emotions down. It's about not letting them take over. It's the ability to feel everything but be ruled by nothing. Let me explain with a simple example. Have you ever watched a powerful movie, one with heartbreak, conflict, tension, the kind that pulls you in completely? You feel for the characters. You may cry, or laugh, or feel fear, but you don't jump onto the screen to save them. You don't lose yourself completely. There's still a part of you that knows this is a story. That balance between emotion and awareness is what Stoics call dispassion. Now bring that same idea into real life. You're driving. Someone cuts you off. Your first reaction, anger, rage, judgment. But what if, instead of lashing out, you simply observed the emotion rise, noticed it without clinging to it? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you." Dispassion is about seeing the storm, feeling the thunder within your chest, but choosing to stay still. It's about allowing emotions to pass through you like clouds crossing the sky. You feel them, but you don't become them. And don't misunderstand, this isn't detachment in the cold sense. It's not numbness. It's mastery. It's emotional intelligence on the deepest level. When you practice dispassion, you respond with clarity, not chaos. You break cycles of regret caused by emotional reactions. You become someone others trust because your emotions don't control you. There's strength in softness and great power in calm, because when others yell, you stay centered. When chaos surrounds you, you remain grounded, not because you don't feel, but because you've trained your mind to observe, not obey. You will still feel anger, sadness, fear, love. You are human. But the Stoic learns to pause, to breathe, and to ask, is this feeling helping me or harming me? If it's harming you, let it go. If it's teaching you, learn from it. If it's simply passing through, watch it go by and return to yourself. That's dispassion. It's not distance from life. It's presence within it. It's the art of being in the storm, but not of the storm. Part 4, Lesson 4, Accept that everything changes. Let's be honest. Most of us crave certainty. We want stability, predictability, control. We want things and people to stay the same. We don't like change, not because it's bad, but because it's unknown, and the unknown feels like a threat. But here's the truth. The Stoics understood long before we did. Change is not the enemy. It is the most natural law of life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Observe constantly that all things take place by change, and accustom yourself to consider that the nature of the universe loves nothing so much as to change. Everything around you is in motion. The seasons shift. The cells in your body regenerate. Your thoughts today are different from the ones you had last year. Even the people you love grow, evolve, move on. And yet when something changes, we resist. We grip tighter. We panic. We mourn the version of life we thought would last forever. But it was never meant to. Imagine this. What if nothing ever changed? What if you were stuck in the same state, with the same people, the same circumstances, forever? At first, it might sound comforting, but soon it would become unbearable. Without change, there is no growth. Without impermanence, there is no beauty. A sunset wouldn't move us if it lasted forever. A flower wouldn't feel sacred if it never wilted. Even love becomes deeper when we know it is fragile. Stoicism teaches us not only to accept change, but to embrace it, to understand that everything is temporary, and therefore everything is precious. The hard times, they will pass. The good times, they will pass too. This isn't meant to make you sad. It's meant to make you present. Because when you know that nothing lasts forever, you stop sleepwalking through your days. You slow down. You feel more. You love deeper. You say thank you more often because you understand this might be the last time you experience that moment, that place, that person. And when difficulty strikes, when life breaks apart, it's this wisdom that will carry you. This, too, shall pass. No storm lasts forever, and no joy can be clutched forever either. The Stoic walks through life with open hands, ready to receive, ready to release, not clinging, not resisting, but flowing, because they know change is not loss. Change is life moving forward. So how do you live this lesson? Start small. Notice the little changes in your day. Let go of the need to hold on to everything. Celebrate what is, and be willing to let it go when it's time. Grieve, yes. Feel, reflect, but don't fight the rhythm of life. Flow with it. Dance with it. Trust it. Because the person who accepts change doesn't lose everything. They gain freedom. Part 5, Lesson 5, Be Grateful. Gratitude. A simple word, a simple idea. But in the noise of our modern lives, we forget just how powerful it is. We rush from one thing to the next. We chase more success, more validation, more comfort. And in that endless pursuit, we overlook what's already here. The Stoics believed that the path to inner peace wasn't found in gaining more, but in appreciating what you already have. Seneca once said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." Take a breath, right now. Wherever you are, look around you. What are you taking for granted? The sunlight pouring through your window, the roof above your head, the quiet sound of your breath, the fact that you're still here, that you've made it through everything life has thrown at you so far. That is something. But the Stoics didn't stop at simply feeling thankful. They practiced a powerful technique called negative visualization. They imagined losing what they had not to make themselves sad, but to remind themselves of how precious those things truly were. Imagine, what if you could no longer see the sunrise? What if this was the last conversation with someone you love? What if today was your final chance to laugh, to hold, to feel? Suddenly, life sharpens, colors become more vivid, moments become sacred, because nothing is promised. And when you remember that gratitude becomes natural, gratitude doesn't mean you ignore pain. It means that even in pain, you can still see light. You can be sick and still be thankful for the care of a doctor. You can lose someone and still be thankful for the time you had with them. You can struggle and still be grateful for your own strength to endure. Gratitude reframes the narrative. It softens the edges of suffering. It opens your heart in the middle of hardship and says, even now, there is something good. So how do you live this? Start small. Each morning, before the noise begins, ask yourself, what am I thankful for right now? Write it down, say it out loud, share it with someone. Be specific. Not just I'm grateful for my family, but I'm grateful for the way my sister laughed with me last night. I'm grateful for the cup of warm tea I had while it rained outside. These little recognitions build something big, inner peace. Gratitude doesn't come from having a perfect life. It comes from noticing the life you already have. And once you develop this habit of pausing, noticing, appreciating, you start to see that even ordinary moments are extraordinary, not because they're flashy, but because they're yours. And one day, they will be memories. Gratitude helps you live them fully while you still can. Part 6, Lesson 6, Build Resilience. Resilience. It's a word we hear often, but rarely stop to feel. It's not about pretending to be strong. It's not about faking a smile when the world is collapsing. It's not about pushing through at all costs. Resilience, in the Stoic sense, is something deeper. It is the quiet power of standing back up after life has knocked you down. It is the inner decision that says, "This did not break me, this shaped me." Life is not gentle. It never promised to be. There will be losses. There will be days you can't breathe. There will be moments when everything you built falls apart. But here's the question the Stoics would ask: what will you do with that pain? Will you let it define you, or will you let it refine you? Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, what blocks you becomes your path. Not because the path is easy, but because walking it transforms you. Think of a tree in a storm. The wind thrashes it, bends it, tests it, but the roots deep in the soil hold firm. And after every storm, the tree grows stronger. That's you. That's resilience. You don't have to smile through the storm. You just have to stand through it, even shaking, even scarred, because every trial you survive becomes part of your strength. So how do we cultivate resilience? 1. Shift your mindset. Stop seeing obstacles as punishments. See them as teachers. Ask, what can this moment teach me? Who can I become because of this? 2. Embrace discomfort. Comfort zones feel good, but they rarely help us grow. The Stoics practiced hardship, voluntarily sleeping on the floor, fasting, walking in the cold. Why? So that when real hardship came, they were ready. 3. Find your foundation. Know your values. When everything else collapses, your values become your shelter. What do you stand for? What will you never compromise? Let that guide you when the road gets dark. 4. Breathe. Be still. Return to yourself. Resilience isn't a constant sprint. It's the wisdom to pause, breathe, and begin again every single day. And finally, don't go it alone. The Stoics didn't believe in isolated strength. They believed in community, in mentors, in honest friendships, in leaning on others not as weakness, but as wisdom. Resilience is not about pretending you don't need help. It's about knowing when to ask for it. You will fall, you will break, you will bleed, but you will not stay broken, because inside you is something more powerful than the pain, a spirit shaped by trial, a soul anchored in meaning. And every time life knocks you down, you rise not as you were, but as someone stronger. That is Stoic resilience. Part 7, Lesson 7, Live according to your values. Who are you when no one is watching? Who are you when the world isn't demanding anything from you? When there are no likes, no praise, no audience? That's where your true self begins, and that's where values come in. To the Stoics, living with wisdom wasn't just about controlling your thoughts. It wasn't only about calming your emotions or surviving chaos. It was about one essential question: are you living in harmony with your values? Because without values, principles, you become like a leaf in the wind, tossed around by the opinions of others, pulled by pleasure, driven by fear, living reactively, not purposefully. But when you are rooted in what truly matters to you, you stop chasing everything and start becoming someone. So what are your values? Not the ones printed on a poster, not what you wish you believed, but the ones you live even when it's hard. Is it honesty? Then do you tell the truth when it's inconvenient? Is it kindness? Then how do you treat people who can't do anything for you? Is it courage? Then do you speak up when it's risky, or stay silent to stay safe? Living according to your values isn't always comfortable, but it is powerful. It gives you direction when life feels chaotic. It gives you clarity when emotions cloud your mind. It gives you dignity even when you lose everything else. Because a person who honors their values has already won in the deepest sense. They've chosen to live, not just exist. Epictetus taught, know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. In other words, start within. Know what you stand for, and then build your life to reflect that truth. Let your values shape the way you speak, the way you love, the way you work, the way you lead, the way you suffer, the way you heal. Because the most powerful version of you isn't found in imitation. It's found in alignment when your actions match your soul. And here's the secret. When you live by your values consistently, quietly, and courageously, you become unshakable. The storms still come, but you no longer drift, because you've built your life on something that doesn't move. Your truth, your integrity, your inner compass. That is the Stoic way. Conclusion, the calm within the storm. So here we are. You've just walked through 7 timeless Stoic lessons, not as abstract ideas, but as living principles, as anchors for the soul, as tools for navigating the most chaotic moments of life. Let's pause and remember what we've learned. Control what you can. Let go of what you can't. Pause before you react. Create space to choose. Practice dispassion. Feel deeply, but remain centered. Accept that everything changes, and because of that, everything is precious. Be grateful for what is here now, before it becomes a memory. Build resilience. Rise again and again, wiser each time. Live according to your values. Let your inner compass guide you, even in the dark. These are more than concepts. They are invitations to live more intentionally, to suffer more wisely, to love more deeply, to meet life not with resistance, but with readiness. You will still face pain. You will still be tested. But now, you are not powerless. You are prepared. Not because life has changed, but because you have. Because you've chosen to stop reacting blindly and start living deliberately. Because you've realized what Marcus Aurelius discovered long ago. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. And that is where the storm ends. Not outside, but within you, because now you carry the calm with you. Thank you for joining this journey. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic Wisdom, where ancient truths meet modern life and philosophy becomes practice. Until next time, stay strong, stay still, and walk your path with wisdom.